Good morning, and welcome to Who Am I? Who Am I? The best show on the internet that no one has heard. Who am I indeed, and why do I do this? Why do I do this show? Because obviously it's not about me making sure that many people watch. Obviously that's not what it's about, because nobody's watching, and I don't care. Apparently, I'm not all about internet creation. I'm not all about it being an internet influencer. What I really want is to understand these principles myself, all the way down to the ground, so that I myself can get everything that my heart desires. And what do I want? I want to be a magical being behind the scenes, understanding the rules of the universe utterly, so that I am molding the clay and playing with my life and having a good time, not being so... don't take this life so personally. Not taking this life so personally. So who am I? And what is this show? Obviously, it is not about fame or fortune for me, because I do nothing to try to make money. I don't even try to get listeners, that's a problem, maybe. But I also never give my name. I never give my name. Sometimes I say, "This is your host, Amelie Starchild, and I will be with you for the next roughly an hour while I do this oral meditation that I do." It's a habitual thing I do for myself. I find the place of pure, positive thought. I do not cross myself in this hour. I don't cross my own energy stream. I am facing forward, and I am looking at all things from a positive lens for this hour. I push back against nothing. There's resistance to nothing. All things are good. From this vantage point, everything is always working out for us. Well-being is the order of the day. Everything that has ever happened to any one of us or to mankind, from my perspective, is the result of, what is the way to put this? The reason that we suffer the suffering that we do. The reason that we get I'm going to air quote the word lessons. The reason that we get the lessons that we do get, every single one of them is guiding us to understand the answer to the question, who am I? And who are we? And what are the laws of the universe? And what's the mathematics of it? What's the visual imagery, the right model to imagine in your mind, so that it lines up with what your consciousness really is, how it is designed, what its form and function and nature is inside of you? How it lines up, how it aligns clearly or not clearly with the actual reality of the actual field around you, past, present, future, and all possibilities? Do you have the right model in your head? Do you have the right visual in your mental imagery to align what's really out there with what you are imagining? And I was listening to an interview. It was a podcast. Danica Patrick's talking to Nassim Haramein. And it took place about 2 weeks ago, is all. It was posted 2 weeks ago. I think it sounded like it was very current. So I believe him. And he was talking about how important it was for the physicists to have the right model in your head for visualization, for being able to blow further and further into the reaches of our imagination the actual shape and nature of the actual universe. If you have the wrong model in your head, the mathematics can still work out. He was demonstrating that, say if, for instance, you don't realize that the Earth is not at the, say if your model, your mathematical model, puts the Earth at the center. The mathematics of that work out like 99.9% still. You know, you can still predict the movements of the celestial bodies. You can still predict your own, you can still predict a whole lot of things. The mathematics works out to a great, but the visual for the imagination is not the right model. And so it won't take your mind to the further and further reaches of the correct visual of the universe, because the Earth is not at the center. So he was saying that the mathematics, the model that the physicists in the laboratories today, the one that they are using, the mathematics works out to a high level of accuracy, but their visual model isn't right. It's not a full model, all the way up, all the way down, all the way in, all the way out, all the way. What would all the words be to describe the visual that you need to have? First of all, it's spin. The model that the physicists use for gravity and how it bends space-time, and the bending of space-time from the mass of the matter is what the gravity is, but it's not what it is it's the collection of the larger mass is spinning a larger portion of the field. It's the spin that's causing the gravitational forces. And when you put in the model as spin, as opposed to a fixed, solid, large object, now you actually have a model that will take you from the quantum to the cosmological. Otherwise, you have weird things going on at the quantum level, and then at the cosmological level, now you can see it as large objects attracting, things towards them through their gravitational pull. But you don't have a model that'll take you from the small to the large. You have one model for the small, you have another model for the large, and you haven't linked the two of them. So this is why it's really important what I'm saying now. Someday I will be peripherally attached somehow to these people doing this mathematics. Right now, I am just in my small little way advocating for their work because I can understand what they're saying, and I can see the possibilities for the future. I can see the possibilities that that this mathematics and this physics will take us to the 21st century, the real 21st century. You might say, well, we're already in the 21st century, but we aren't. Our technology is still, just getting a finer and finer grain on the technology we used last century. It's not 21st century technology. It's nothing new. It's just all the old stuff just getting, finer and finer grain is what I just said. Do I still like that word? A finer, you get better and better at that old technology. you know? You get better and better, you get better and better at the horse and buggy thing without ever moving to the electromagnetic fields, and then on from. So that's what brought us the 20th century. Our understanding of electromagnetic fields and how they work, and how to do the mathematics of them, how to control them. It brings us all of our, you know, blind instrument technology for navigation of planes, trains, and automobiles. It brings us all the things that we didn't have before. So what is the 21st century? What is that one going to be? It's going to be an understanding of source energy. And you know what? You cannot understand source energy without pondering the implications of, what does this mean to me? Who am I? I am made of these particles. I am made of this field. I am made of this matrix, this energy field that we all are, that everything is, this spinning space-time, which is the only thing that exists, this fluid dynamic of space-time, and how the mathematics of it, and how it flows, and how it exchanges information all the way up and all the way down the line. And what are these lines? They are made of black holes at different scales. Teeny, weeny, weeny, bitty black holes that we call protons. A proton is the mass at the center of every atom, and all it is a vortex of Planck's spinning. But it's not just a vortex of Planck's spinning. There is a relationship between the field of Planck's spinning within one proton and all of the protons in all of the universe. There is a relationship between the two of them. There's a mathematical relationship and a scalar relationship. Within the Planck field of every proton is represented the mathematics of all the other protons in the universe. And you can extrapolate. You can go back and forth like you can with all of mathematics. You understand, multiplication one way, and you realize that it's, flip it around and it's division backwards, or upside down, or however you want to look at it. You can look at the mass of the universe and extrapolate from it the radius of a proton. It's all interrelated and interconnected and holographic and one thing. It's all one thing, and you are a part of it. So what does that mean? It's all one thing, and I'm connected to it. My consciousness is connected to it. It's almost like the universe is one of those, those old those cars that were made for student drivers that had two sets of controls, so that if the student, crapped out, the teacher could take control. It's kind of like that, and the teacher would be the source, but you have control of the car, and as long as you're aligned with the rest of the car, the rest of the field, and the object of the exercise of both of you, or all of you, the universe is like every one of us has one of them cars. From the universe's perspective, it's one car that has an infinite number of controls. And anybody who wants to line up and play nice can drive the car. And you're driving it from where you are. And how powerful you get, how successful you are, how happy you are, everything that you are about, you can control but you control it from maybe not from where you think you do. The only control that you have is the control that you have over yourself and your vibrational offering, and how well it lines up with the hopes and dreams and desires and imagination of the rest of the field around you. If you're off on your own jag, caring about things that only you care about, I promise you, you're the only one looking that direction. You're the only one, in that project. But if you can find a way to be all about a project that everybody is involved in, at some point, somehow, you will be dancing with the rest of the field. But you'll be dancing with it on your terms. On your terms, the way you want. It won't be busier than you want it to be. It'll be just exactly what you want, if you will follow the guidance of your inner being. Your inner being, your inner being. And so we're going to talk about the inner being. And I don't mean to be mystical about it. I actually want to be matter of fact, but you could get mystical about it. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You can be matter of fact. You have a vibrational, broader perspective. It's like a vibrational, what are the words I like to use? I haven't used them in a while, so I can't remember. I can't remember. It's your vibrational aspect, though. It's like another sense, sensing the physical world. It really is. It's sensing your spirit self is sensing the physical world. Did you know that? You thought maybe all the angels were just off, playing their harps and thinking about non-physical things. That's not the truth. What they are looking at is the physical, because that's what's interesting. That's what's important. That's what's becoming. As this manifestation rolls. And so that's what's interesting. What people are summoning forth from this cosmological dream fulfillment factory that the universe is, what they are summoning forth from it and making real is what's interesting. The planets that are coming into being, the nebulae that are forming, the universes that are coming into being, the universes that are big banging, and then on the ground of the planets, the little the species that are forming in response to all of the desires for abundance and community and life. That's what's interesting. So that's what your spirit is all involved with. Your cosmic vibrational aspect. It's another one of your senses. But the difference between this sense and your other physical senses is when you die, your other physical senses go away. But this one is actually not physical. And so she's not going to go away. This is the you that you really are, and the you that you will continue to be when your expirational self lays it down. Do you understand? But in the meantime, it serves as like another physical sense to you. Your vibrational aspect, your inner being, is sensing the physical world. And it's doing it through the physical nature of the universe, the way the universe is designed, the holographic nature of the universe, how all of the hubs and knobs and what of the internet. I'm not talking about the internet that human beings have created, but the internet of this matrix of energy that is connecting all things it's flowing its information all up and down the field, and using this flow of data and information to create life, to create more, to create better, to become conscious of who we are and how this is working. How does it do it? How does your inner being know everything physical? It's because every point, every plonk is reporting its information up to the whole. And the information of the whole is downloading back to every plonk, to every subhub, all the way down to the plonk. Every plonk instant, it's doing it. Every now. How is it doing it? It's doing it vibrationally. How is it doing it? It's doing it, do you know how it's doing it holographically? But let's explore for just half a second. How do you create a hologram? How is a conventional hologram created in a laboratory? How do you do that? Well, how you do it is, I've got a little diagram. Here's my diagram. You see this little thing up to the upper right, looks sort of like the handle to a lightsaber or whatever. But what's shooting out of this is coming a laser beam. And at the point of the first mirror, that beam is splitting. And it goes over here to the left to a mirror, and then back over here to a commonplace. Or it splits to the right, hits a mirror, goes and scans an apple, and then hits this photographic plate here. Now, what happens when these two beams meet at the photographic plate? There is a scattering of the information through an interference pattern between these two beams. That's what creates the hologram. It's the interference pattern. The fact that it's not just a scanning of an apple showing a photo of an apple. All of the information of that photo of the apple got scrambled with another beam. And through this interference pattern now, all of the information is there. And you can cut it in half, and you still have all the information of the apple. You don't just have half the information of the apple, you have all of it still. A little lower resolution, but you have the whole apple. You can cut it again in half, you still have the whole thing. You can cut it theoretically all the way to infinity, and somehow all of the information of the apple is still there, even though, it might be, you might have to, I don't know, at the Planck level, what does all of the information of everything look like? Well, it looks like a proton. It looks like a proton spinning with all the Plancks. Well, that's what it looks like at the proton level. The Planck level, it just looks like these Planck oscillators, seething and roiling with an infinitude of information, an infinitude of energy. Now, why do we not count that? Because it's assumed that it all cancels out, to the random function of all of this, roiling sea of this Dirac sea of roiling energy. It all cancels out. Well, it doesn't all cancel out. It mostly cancels out, and where it cancels out, you see space. And where it doesn't cancel out, you see matter. And our physicists and ourselves, we all need to have the right visual model in our head as we are imagining these things. And then from there, you can do finer and finer grains of mathematics to describe this field and who we are and how this works. It's really important to have the right visual model. Now, I am good at the visual model. At some point, I could do the math. I remember being so proud of myself in my sophomore year of college when I got an A in my Calc 2 class. I was so excited about that. Woohoo, yay me. I did very well with that. Or was that my freshman year? It was Calc 2, but it was the second semester of, I don't know, I can't remember. And those details don't matter. We're talking about who am I from a really big perspective and where we are going as human beings. I want to go find my, is it here? Is this, yeah, this is where I was. Who am I? And what is the meaning of my life? And how do you work the equipment? How do you work the equipment? How do you run the biotechnology that I am? How do you understand it? First of all, you gotta understand you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe. And you have two aspects of yourself, two main aspects of yourself, one more gross, one more, what would the word be for the, one more subtle. You have a subtle aspect and you have a more gross aspect. You have a physical nature, which is also actually vibrational, but it's a more gross vibration. And then you have another aspect of yourself that is pure vibration. And this pure vibrational aspect of you is connected to you. It is anchored with you. But it is dancing and vibrating and playing nice and playing loving and playing in wholeness with all of the rest of the field. It is playing with the vibrational aspect of everybody else too. So your inner being is not actually different than everybody else's inner being. It's just your version of your inner being is anchored to you and your thoughts, your consciousness, your desire, your actual loves, what you prefer. So it's you and it's yours. It is not anybody else. It is God and it is all of us. It is the God that belongs to all of us, but it is not just that. It is anchored to you, so it is very specifically designed for you. It is your God. Your God. But it is also you. This is who we are, people. This is who we are, and it is big. It is big. And everybody is that. And so that becomes, all of a sudden, it gets really scary. But it shouldn't get really scary. If you're seeing it scary, you're looking at it from the wrong angle. But the implications are, whoa, 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 whoa. Look at what we're doing politically. Look at what we're doing with our criminal justice system, with our military industrial complex, with our, oh my God, you're like, oh wow, could we be more off? Well, we're off in a way. Physically speaking, we are not forming the pattern that really will bring us to our joyful, sustainable, abundant future. We're not quite there. We're still in the process of hammering out every single one of our preferences because we want it all. We want it all, and it is possible to have it all. But there's a lot of things that need to come into play. First of all, we need to have the right visual model of who we really are and how this really works. And then when we get downloads from our imagination, they'll be good, clear downloads coming from source, telling us, giving us vibrational reads on the actual shape of the actual matter around us. Our spirit is looking at material things through a spiritual lens. It is true. And our material self needs to understand this spiritual lens. But everybody's looking at the same thing, which is matter. However, our material side doesn't necessarily know how matter even comes into being and how flexible it is. How it can be anything we want to summon, from the darkest of darkness to the lightest of lightness. We are magicians. There's a reason how come we keep imagining these scenarios like the Harry Potter thing, with the magician school, people learning how to do this. There's a reason why, because this is truly who we are. We are magicians in an amazing possible universe. Man, I got cramp in my Knuckle. Sorry about that. We are magicians. We are amazing magicians. And how we are designed is this. You have a physical self that you're probably fairly aware of. This is the one, you call it your physical body. You clothe it. You indulge it. You have to feed it. You have to take care of it. It interacts with others. It sleeps. It has all of the things that, and it bangs around in an apparently physical world. And it has physical dreams. You want things. You want... what do we want? I'll tell you what we want, but it's going to be general. It's going to be general. I'm going to paint you a picture of the general, and this is all of what we want. And then from here, you take this general and you dial in from this spirit into a specific. Find the specific in this general picture of what we want. What we want is this. We want freedom. We want the feeling of freedom. It feels so good to feel free. We want to feel safe. We want to feel safe. Now, all of these are very ironic because the spirit you that you really are, this continuum of information and energy flow that you are connected to, actually is as free as it could possibly be. It is free. It is, what else did I say that we want? We want freedom. It is safe. It couldn't possibly be any safer. It is the formless taking on whatever form of plonks it wants. It is the formless giving rise to the form. So it is safe. So what do you want? You want freedom, safety, beauty, abundance, fun, clarity, joy. We are here for the joy. We are here for the fun. We are here to create in matter amazing, amazing things. That's who we are. That's who we are. We want beauty. We want... and so then you take that general spirit form and then you look at the possibilities and you start recognizing, oh, well, let's see, I could beauty up that neck of the woods, or I could create this pocket of fun, or if I put it all together, I create a whole world where we are all free. Each and every individual is free to move in any direction that you want. And actually, we are all free to do that. Nobody can take that away from us. I'll tell you the secret. The secret is... the secret lies in the magical essence of our vibrational offering unto this great universe of which we are all engaged in, right? Our vibrational offering is the key to the success or failure of our own aspirations, if you will. Let's put it that way. Our vibrational offering is what you are emanating, because you are a frequency, you are a transmitter and a receiver. And there is a whole field of motion, spinning spins, and energy flowing all around you, spinning all around you, that you can engage with if you will get in touch with your own desires, your own nature, your own the vibrational resonance or discord between your inner and outer beings. Remember, we started this conversation discussing the inner being, this vibrational cosmic aspect of it's part of your vibrational anatomy. And as your vibrational anatomy, it's the part of your anatomy that continues when your physical anatomy is, feeding worms, if you will. Your vibrational anatomy continues. And it is you. It is the frequencies that are you. All of the information, the memories that are you, the things you care about is what you are. That's how you define who you are, is what you loved, what you cared about, what you care about, what you love, what do you love. And how you express all of this has to do with what you're focusing on and what you're putting your attention on. You may not realize that. You may not realize that you are identifying who you are by what you are paying attention to. Now, you may go, wait a minute, I didn't know that was the rules. That's not it. I've been paying attention to where are all the pedophiles and where are all the dangers in this world and where are all the people who are judging me harshly and all of that. And that's not who I am. That's them. That's not me. One of the greatest lessons that we can learn as human beings ultimately is that there is no us and them. Ultimately, there is no us and them. Now, I'm not coming from a delusional place. I do understand from a human being's physical standpoint, yes, there's an us and them. Us is America, and them is those bad people over there, or or us is America, and them is our friends to the north or south. But that's still seeing an us and them. Ultimately, there isn't an us and them. There is humanity. Humanity with a capital H. Mankind with a capital M. I like humanity better because mankind says man. But you know what? Woman has man in there too. So mankind is all of us. Both mankind and womankind. It's all mankind. There is only one of us. And ultimately, if we are to survive on this planet, we have to think in terms of global systems. We have to think in terms of systems for humanity that benefit all of humanity across the board. And not humanity across the board from the smartest, wisest, kindest, to the most ignorant, feisty, antisocial crapheads out there. You don't actually have to pander to the lowest. What you do is you offer opportunity for humanity at a particular level. And then all who want to participate in this game need to rise. But that may sound callous. I don't mean it to sound callous because I think we need to get the word out. Hey, this is how the field functions. So what is it that everybody needs to do to succeed? I'll tell you what it is. And succeed, I'm air quoting the word succeed. That success can be gauged from a lot of different measures, but ultimately it will look like playing nice with the field. It will look like harmony. It will look like the joyful dance of a synergistic, harmonious co-creation. It will not look like chaos, or it won't look like war. It won't look like riots. It will look like, occasionally it will be a hurricane or a tornado, but the organizational functions of humanity will be in order, and we'll be able to step in and fix whatever needs fixing. When we understand who we are, the systems that we will create that will be beneficial for all of humanity, I can see what they will look like. There are things that we will continue to do because we love to do them. And in our society of the future, we will continue to do these things. We're going to continue to circulate around the planet. Human beings love to move around the planet. They love to try different things as each individual tries to find who they are and what they love, what they want, how do I follow my bliss? And through the following of my bliss, do I serve the greater humanity? This is how you serve humanity. You do not need to put on, your galoshes and your rubber gloves and go down to the homeless shelter and ladle out soup. There are only a few of us can do that. In the ultimate society of the future, the homeless shelter we're not gonna call it a homeless shelter. It'll be some sort of a transitory hostile facilities of some sort to allow for people with less resources in this moment to still move about the world and get their business done. I don't want to get too specific. But I'm telling you, the society of two things are going to happen with this new understanding of physics. And when humanity finally wraps their head around the implications of this new math and physics, the two things that are going to happen that's going to change everything is, first of all, we're going to have a different energy source than the one we have right now. The one we have right now is fossil fuels, basically. Fossil fuels and natural gas, which is also a fossil fuel. That comes from old dinosaurs and jungles and stuff decomposing over millions of years. That's what natural gas is too. It's all fossil fuel. Burning fossil fuel is our energy source right now. When we truly understand the origin of mass and the nature of gravity, we are going to be able to plug our technologies directly into the quantum field, directly into the source this energy source that creates worlds. It creates universes, it creates galaxies, there is so much energy there. And it's not against the laws of physics to pull energy right out of this field. Our complex and deeper understanding of this field is what's going to bring that about. And the second thing is our understanding that spin is what's creating these internal forces within the atom. The subatomic forces are being caused by the spin of the vortex of that Planck field, creating that little black hole proton at the center of every atom. That is what gravity is. And it is actually also love. Love is that feeling that pulls us all together. That's gravity. We're feeling the gravitational force pulling us all into a oneness. That is what it is. And I want to spend 0% of my life arguing with anybody about it. I would like to spend a lot of my time explaining this to people because it's amazing and it's magnificent and it's wonderful and it all comes together. And when you realize how it all comes together, you realize the implications to solving the problems of humanity. If we had clean, free energy enough to do anything we wanted to do, we already possess all the technologies that we need to accomplish everything we want to accomplish. Except for one thing. We still don't have the gravity control technologies, but we will now that we understand the origin of mass and nature of gravity. I'm referring, of course, to this paper that Nassim Haramein published. Well, this is in peer review stage. It's been up for peer review for physicists and mathematicians to look at and decide whether they want to bunk or debunk, to get on board and understand it, or to try to cross it and say, no, I disagree and this is why. So far, no one has argued with the math. It came out in September of last year, so it's a little over a year. The origin of mass and nature of gravity, and this damn thing explains where mass is coming from out of the quantum field and how it works. And I actually, in my OBS studio a long time ago, I put these slides in. These I screenshot from the 37-minute YouTube video describing this paper, The Origin of Mass and Nature of Gravity. So all of these slides coming up, every single one of these, came from the YouTube video, screenshot from the YouTube video describing the paper. And then I have a couple of screenshots at the end. They are just screenshots from my computer, from the paper itself, not the video of the paper, but the paper. So I'll show you. Here we go. The black hole proton. And since a proton is a black hole, it's going to have Hawking radiation. It's going to have little bits of little plonks flinging off of it. It's going to take about roughly 10 to the 35 billion years for this black hole proton to evaporate. We haven't even made it to 10 to the 2 billion years. 10 to the 2 is 100 billion years. Haven't even made it that far. So let's keep going. There's space-time pixelization at the quantum scale, at the quantum level. Here's the Planck length. I've got another one that shows the actual formulas for the Planck length. And it goes deeply into the history of the thinking and picturing and the thinking and the history of the thinking and how this theory fits with this theory, and these formulas relate to this and that and the other, go all the way to how when a Planck oscillator comes across the event horizon of the 0-point energy field and goes from being in chaotic, random fluctuation into coherence, into matter, it's spinning. Spin is baked into the cake. It is right there. That is what gravitational forces are. It is the force of this spin. And that spin going in, that's gravity. The spin coming out, that's the electromagnetic field. And all of this, all of the forces are this, what would you call it? This system spinning and, well, whatever. This I cut from the paper. This came right from the paper, and I like this one because this is a screenshot that's showing the mathematics, and actually you can even see when you start getting deeper into this, you see the relationship between this math and sacred geometry, why sacred geometry is even sacred geometry, how it is relating to the physical structure of the actual physical universe. That's what the sacred geometric is all about. It's about the physical universe. This is showing how all of the Planck field is reflecting the information of all of the protons in all of the rest of the universe. You can see that. So if you are a mathematician or you are a physicist and this intrigues you, go look at the dang paper. The paper I showed you, it's over at zenodo.org, I believe is where that is. But if you just Googled Nassim Haramein, Origin of Mass, Nature of Gravity paper, I'm sure it will come up. You can go Google that in, well, not Google it. Go Google it in YouTube, and the YouTube video will come up. Please go watch it. And then go watch the Lost Century and How to Reclaim It, and get a sense of possibility. Get your imagination fired up. Get your desires for more, for better, for success ignited. Get it going on. We really can solve every one of the problems that we have. Here's the actual formulas for the Planck mass, Planck time, Planck length. What is a Planck? How do you get that? You take a photon And some stuff that Einstein did gave us the mathematical formula for a photon. It's not even an atom. An atom is not a photon. A photon is less than that. It's a little tiny packet of light going at the speed of light. Have it cross its own. That sure sounded like my phone just binged. A packet of light going at the speed of light, crossing its own diameter. That is... Excuse me, I'm going to go look for my phone. All right, sorry about that. I just had to go check something out. I'm going to finish up here. I have another 10 minutes or so where I will keep talking about my favorite subject. Maybe I won't go quite... maybe 8 minutes. That'll take me to 7 a.m. Who am I? Here I was at the Planck units. Then here's my hologram. We showed that earlier. I like this one. This one is from the paper, not the video about the paper, and it is showing the oscillator mechanics. How that oscillator, as it pops back and forth across the event horizon, it's not just popping back and forth, it's spinning. It's spinning. And that's the secret to all the forces. It's the secret to the mass. It's the secret to the gravity. It's all of that. Let's see. Is this the last? Yep, that's the last of my... So, here we are back at the mushroom village on some alien planet. Who am I? Who am I? And what's the point of this discussion? We need to crack open our imaginations, people. We need to understand what's possible. We need to ponder for a dreaming minute who we are and what the object of this danged exercise even is. We're here for the joy, apparently. This was news to me when Abraham first told me, hey, you're here for the joy. And the basis of your life is freedom. And what you can't help but do is expand. Freedom, growth, and joy. That is what you're here for. It was a whole new perspective on life as I went, oh my gosh, it's true. And that's why who you really are is your happy self. If you would go ahead and be your happy self for a long enough period of time and quit interrupting your happy self with your negative self, you would recognize, oh, this is me. This is me. And this negative me is just a piece of me. It's me. It's an effect of this density and perspective. It's not really you. The positive, the pure positive frequencies are who you really are, because it's who your inner being is, and it's who my inner being is, and that's who we all really are. We really are our vibrational inner self. This cloak we put on, this outside thing, that's us too, but it's expirationally us. It's only us right in this now moment. Now, interestingly enough, only now exists. So isn't that interesting? Now who am I? Ponder it. Think about it. When you understand your design, you will understand how important it is to learn not to cross your own energy stream. You have an energy stream. It's coming to you from source, and it is pure, and it is positive, and it is clean. And if you would learn how to tune into that frequency, you could surf that frequency into a fabulous material space. That's what we're going to learn how to do. Every day of my life, I will continue to come into this space and get better and better and better at teaching this teaching, this particular piece of information. This is what I want to teach. It is the most fun thing to think about, to understand. It gets my juices flowing. It is me following my bliss. You learn how to follow your bliss, and we will all co-create a magical, inventive, incredibly productive, supportive, abundant, and beautiful universe for us all to share. And I think that is a wonderful place to end, even though I'm just shy of an hour. I think it's okay, especially since I don't really have any listeners anymore. If I still have 60 people who have subscribed to me who have not unsubscribed. Now, if they would go into my spaces and look at what's there, they might go, oh my gosh, look at what she's doing. But I haven't offended anybody, so they haven't unsubscribed, so that's good. But I don't really have the listeners, but that's okay, because that gives me the freedom to morph and change and grow and get more. And we'll see where I actually am when I find my followers, my listening base. At some point, I do want people to listen to me, but they don't have to listen to me right now. This is my own personal oral meditation as I learn to walk these non-resistant spaces. These non-resistant spaces in my mind, and connect them to the outer spaces, the inner and the outer. They relate to one another. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That's the question. We ask it every day. We'll be back tomorrow for another hour. Stay tuned. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel. And until then, God bless. Do your best. Merry Christmas. And until tomorrow, may the source ever and always be with you.